Hello guys, this is me, Serena the Hedgehog on YouTube, or as you may know, I love Raphael Tmnt on DeviantArt. Now this I'm not used to doing, but I will be doing an analysis video of Nickelodeon TMNT 2012 Season 4 Episode 14, The Earth's Last Stand. Now, I will probably be summarizing the whole thing from the very beginning and how it relates to the Season 3 finale, and I will also put out my point of view of what I thought deeply in this episode, especially from the very beginning, and I'll point out any flaws and maybe some unnecessary scenes or videos that Nickelodeon should have put out and what mistakes they have made based on one of the old versions of TMNT throughout the history. Now, from the very beginning, we see the team arriving in the Milky Way back to Earth to save him from the Triceratons. Now they were happy of bringing back home because they get to see Master Splinter, their home, their old friends, everything back again. But April sends Professor Honeycutt hiding something from them, and that he should tell him. So he said that it was not the Triceratons who made the black hole generator, it was actually him. Now, compared to this little scene from one of the old versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I forgot which version it was, but I've seen it, so in that old version, he did tell him that he made it, but he was telling the truth, and the Turtles were fine with that because he told them from the very beginning, from I think the very first day that they met. So they were cool with it. Now back to our real version. In this version, the Turtles, April and Casey, were furious. Well, except Mikey, Donnie, and April, but especially Leo. He was ticked at Professor Honeycutt / Future Toy for telling them that it was all a lie and that he was the bad guy and everything. But Professor Honeycutt was actually trying to change his ways. Now, in the old version, he was the good guy. He was doing it for research. He was trying to use it for good things. But a lot of people, like the Triceratons, for example, and another enemy who looked like humans, wanted to use it for war. And Professor wanted to destroy it. So he asked the Turtles for help to do that so they can go back home. Now, in our real version, as we continue on, as Leo was ticked, he went on his, as Raph calls it, his one-way missions to stop the Triceratons. But what Leo did was actually pretty stupid. He went alone on the stealth ship of Professor Honeycutt's ship to destroy the motherboard of Triceratons. His brothers tried to stop him, but he ignored them. But as he fought on, he was actually kind of doing pretty good at first, but then he kind of got outnumbered by one of the fleets, and then his ship got hit, and it caused the whole ship to explode. Now, I guess based on the impact, the glass of Leo's space helmet started to crack, and it exploded. Don't worry, it was just the glass. But that also means that Leo has no air up in space to breathe. Everyone was shocked at this, and I know especially you Leo fans out there, especially me, which I guess it was kind of unpredictable based on all the other scenes that he almost got killed in the past 3 seasons. Now, the Turtles were trying to hurry up and save his brother, but they got hit by the Triceraton fleet and almost got into Mars. But Professor Honeycutt saved them by turning on the engine of the thrusters, and they made it. Now, this took about 5 minutes, I guess, in their own timeline until they picked up Leo. Now, in the next scene, Donnie saves Leo by, as the doctors would do in the hospital, they would use defibrillators, but Donnie used his space bow staff to do that. Now, here's a little flaw in this. Actually, there are 2 flaws. Now, as most sci-fi space movies were shown, if you see a human or any type of creature out in space with no oxygen to breathe, it most likely be their head to explode or something like that. Now, I know Nickelodeon is a channel for kids to watch, so I know they wouldn't post that. I know they wouldn't show that in, especially to one of the turtles. But if this was reality, then yes, it might possibly be showing that his head exploding up. Now, another flaw. Now, if it took 5 minutes for the turtles to save themselves from being hidden to Mars and to save Leo, he should already be dead by now. Because even when they picked him up, they shown him on the ground and he wasn't moving. Not even air was breathing in his lungs. So he was almost gone. But he would have been dead by now in reality. Now, as they were arriving Earth, they were seeing little scenes of their past selves getting ready to fight the Triceratons. So they went up back into. So they were going back into Earth, but Professor Honeycutt was also hiding something else from them, thanks to April and her psychokinesis, or whatever you call it. I keep forgetting. Now, he told them a plan of how to do this, how to destroy the black hole generator, but Leo was still mad at him, and he thought that he was going to abandon them, so that if they fail, they will also be killed as well up in the black hole generator. And Professor Honeycutt tried to reason with them to follow his plan without question, but they would not leave. So he said, if you want to follow my plan, then you're not wanted on the ship. So he kind of kicked them out of the ship, but before they hit the ground on planet Earth, he saved them again. So everyone was kind of confused at first of why he did that, but Leo thought that he was going to abandon them and just steal the black hole generator. But they tried to focus on the plan so they would save their past selves and their Earth and their world. So they kicked in on the fight. Their past selves were confused at this because this was very unlikely for them to do this. See their future selves fighting with them. Now, it's kind of like a remake of Season 3 finale a little bit. It's kind of refreshing your memory. But at the part where Splinter was about to get killed by Shredder, spoiler, wink, wink, our Leo from space shout out Splinter's name. But Nickelodeon showed a little scene that was from the Season 3 finale of Splinter getting stabbed, or what looked like that he got stabbed. Everyone was shocked, but it showed that Splinter caught Shredder's hand, and he figured out that Shredder was trying to kill him, even though they kind of teamed up to save the world. Kind of a little truce then. So those two started fighting. Now, here's a little thing. Even though Leo saved Splinter from getting killed by Shredder, when they showed that little scene that we saw in the Season 3 finale, Nickelodeon could have changed that little scene a little bit, because based on what has been seen, it looked like he did get stabbed, but he didn't. I just want to point that out, because when I first watched it, I really thought he did get stabbed until they showed Splinter catching Shredder's hand. Now, we're just going to fast forward a little bit, but all of the turtles, past and future, teamed up to destroy the Triceratons, especially the general, I forgot his name. They kind of did defeat him, but he escaped with the transporter. All the Triceratons did. Oh, and by the way, Leo did destroy or cause a bit of damage of the black hole generator, which caused it from activating it. But anyway, when the battle was over, Professor Zane Honeycutt, or the Fugitoid, took the black hole generator, and Leo thought that he was going to steal it. But then Donnie figured out, as Professor Honeycutt told him earlier in the episode, that the black hole generator is caused by, I think, dark matter, And same with the ship's core, I think. And Professor Honeycutt's core is also caused by radiation or something else. I forgot that quickly. So, for those fans who probably figured out before the show said that Professor Honeycutt was planning to sacrifice himself to save the turtles both past and future. Now, this gave me a bit of a Star Trek feeling because in the old version and in the new version, the modern version, you know that feeling when you see Captain James T. Kirk / Spock getting killed by saving the Enterprise ship? Well, I had that feeling again, which when Professor Honeycutt says last words to the turtles that you are my friend and I love you all. Now, he saved everyone from the Triceratons because based on that, it kind of caused a little black hole, but only affected Professor Honeycutt's ship and the Triceratons motherboard. So that means that he is dead and what's left of the Triceratons are dead. Yay, finally. I'm so glad because the general was being a jerk and all. Now, about 30 seconds later, it showed Professor Zainty and Honeycutt from the past arriving to planet Earth. The turtles from space were confused by this, but Donnie figured out that if there were two of those turtles in one dimension, then that means there are two future toys as well. So the past future toy appeared and he said, "Welcome." He introduced himself and he asked them if they would like to go on an adventure. Now, here's the thing that has been bothering me a whole lot, on which I think Nickelodeon made a huge mistake on this. Now, let's think rationally here. As most sci-fi or other types of movies are shown where the main characters / heroes get warped back up into time to save their world or somebody from getting killed or destroyed, you think that once they figured out and saved their mission, there'll be a flash of light going on, or there'll be a portal where everything will go back to normal and almost nothing ever happened. Well, here's where Nickelodeon got wrong. They didn't do something like that. The turtles from space let their past selves go up into space, but here's the thing. If the future toy, the one from space, sacrificed himself to destroy the Triceratons from destroying the Earth, then what's the point of the turtles' past selves going up into space for? Like, they have no purpose, so are they just going up in space to have fun? I don't know, you never know, but here's another thing. If they're going up into space and the ones that we know that have been up in space stay up on Earth, what will happen if their past selves come back from Earth? Will they forever be two versions of the turtles living up in one layer forever? Or will something else happen in the rest of the season, possibly season 5 happen? I'm not sure, but here's another question. Based that their past selves are going up into space, well, will it affect somehow with Raph and Mona Lisa's relationship? Like, what if Mona Lisa bumped into the past version of Raph? What would happen then? I'm not sure, but if they didn't bump into each other, what will happen anyway with Raph and Mona's relationship? Will they still be together? Will Mona Lisa somehow visit planet Earth? Or will they just break up and fall apart? I'm not sure, but something might involve Mona Lisa maybe in the rest of the season. Now, here's another thing that I think I'm starting to forget. In this earlier in the battle, this wasn't shown in the season 3 finale, but it did show in this episode of the General Triceraton asking the turtles in the past selves if they remembered him, because he was confused of why the turtles, on which he thought the turtles that we know now who have saved Earth, had been the Triceratons to Earth first when they damaged their ship and they almost well, to Mars. Now, if that was the case, when he asked them, do they recognize him, they said no. They didn't make the Turtles in the season 3 finale ask themselves why he asked them that. I mean, they acted as if he never asked them before. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but it's been bothering me ever since I first aired it. So if you have anything to ask or anything to say about this, please let me know in the comments. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Bye.